Oh, is it like a live?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I taught 2 staff meetings over the summer, and I live streamed it so then I could have it as proof for my reflective resume for because it's gonna be ongoing. Like I taught at the Senior Center for Creative Living, I think that's the title. But it's just an over 50-year-old senior center. They have activities and lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
And I did 2 workshops there for holistic health, so I recorded so I could add that to my resume too. Because it's like keeping me accountable also. It's like, okay, I only did this for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour.
Prize when you get back.
It still is able to go on my resume.
Yeah.
So,
And Jaziel, when you have 5 minutes left after your list, you kind of know.
okay.
So, and, I mean, I tried this with Mark, the alarm barely made a noise.
No, yeah, you could just do the hand.
I always do the hand signal.
Right over the top.
Could you feel the, yeah, because everybody says like to get that low, you kind of feel it.
I'll give you a thumbs up when it's time. I don't know where Michael went to, but I'll give you a thumbs up.
It's 6 hours, it was bad.
Yeah, it's crazy, the building and everything, good God. That's what, a couple hundred feet?
Yeah,
I don't know.
got stoked fine air balls too, the ones that drop
Yeah.
the water, I caught the tail end of it, it felt so good.
Exactly, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jaziel.
We gotta wait for Miss Ebony and Kathleen.
Ebony is, I think Ebony's left, and Kathleen has taken a phone call.
Don't count on it.
She'll come on in a minute.
Okay. All right, well, we're gonna start our class now. So this workshop is how to recharge and refocus with mental wellness in college. And we're just gonna go through a few things, but this is my information. I'm your presenter, Jaziel. My experience is a holistic health practitioner. I was certified and I started off with life coaching with social and emotional intelligence skills. And then more recently, last year, I went through the ISSA program and got certified for personal training. So the end result is I can help you as a holistic health practitioner to rewire your mind and body to act healthier so you live a fuller, healthier life. Right now, I'm currently a full-time college student. I teach workshops and during staff meetings on holistic health tips and how to calm your nervous system. Okay? So moving forward. The workshop objectives for today is to identify common sources of stress and excitement associated with the college experience and recognize how these factors can impact academic success and personal well-being. The next objective, understand the relationship between energy and time management and how managing personal energy can improve your focus, productivity, and decision making. Another objective is develop strategies for managing stress, avoiding burnout, and maintaining balance while navigating academic and personal responsibilities. Then we're going to talk about taking accountability for our intake levels and recognizing our personal habits and routines that influence different degrees of influence in the world. So that is the objectives. So the description is college life is full of exciting opportunities, new responsibilities, and sometimes unexpected challenges. In this workshop, students will explore how strategies from the Time Management Secrets for College Students, it's a book that we're referencing, to better understand the connections between stress, energy, and effective time management. So after this, students will learn how to recognize common sources of college stress, identify habits that impact their energy levels, and develop practical strategies to create balance, maintain motivation, and prioritize their overall wellness while working towards academic success. All right? So these are the book references we're going to be talking about in these 2 sections. So college life is full of excitement and stress. So college is a big transition. Expect to face new anxieties, and stress is a common and natural condition that we all have. So everyone faces stress at some point in their lives. Each of us function best at our own unique stress levels, and your attitude is everything. Life is 20% what happens to you and 80% how you respond to it. If you've ever heard that quote, that cannot be more important than in college when you're surrounded by people and all these uncertainties at times and dealing with other people's schedules and having to follow up on things. And I haven't met anyone who's just taking one class. So, you have to do this with multiple professors, multiple different topics and subjects and whatnot. So Yeah, and then we have this cute little quote from Woodrow Crow is nothing is so sour that it can't be sweetened by a good attitude. So remember, stress and anxiety are expected and sometimes natural, but the way that you react to life and your attitude that you have will dictate, your outlook and long term your success rate, just not even college, past college, right? Okay, so common sources of college stress may be having an increased responsibilities, a lack of good time management, changes in your eating and sleeping habits. This is especially big if you are on campus in the dorms and you have to hear, other people getting up and getting ready for the day, maybe before you wake up. That's what I've been dealing with my new roommates. So having to, be flexible with other people's schedules is also a source of stress as well. But also another stress is not taking enough breaks for self-care. People reach burnout very, very quickly in the beginning of the semesters because they don't just take that walk or they don't just say, hey, instead of doing this activity that's planned for the day, I'm going to go home and take a nap. I'm really tired right now. I don't want to overdo my, senses and try to just be everywhere and, burn myself out. So, sometimes people just need to take that extra care, self-care, take more breaks to keep being productive, right? Being healthy. Some people also don't study for exams enough, or they wait until last minute to study for exams. That's a really bad habit some people get into. And I know some professors also don't accept late work or work that's like partially finished. So some professors will just say, no, I'm not even going to allow you to re-upload this assignment or resubmit the assignment. So this is also why it's important to study and study extra for exams. Also trying to master large amounts of content in small amounts of time. That's what I was saying with the not studying enough or not doing their assignments fully enough. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. And then students are expected to make decisions about their careers and academic life. So like I said, the attitude being something that you use as a reaction to life outside of college, right? If you're making big decisions like, okay, what am I going to do in 4 years? Okay, I know what job I want to do, right? And then after that, you have to be able to have that same type of productive, helpful, balanced life, work schedule, have that good attitude so that whenever the unexpected things in life happen, after college, you're able to say, hey, this is what I did in college. This is what helped me, this is what I'm going to continue doing, or this is what I'm going to adjust now that I'm out of college, And some people have families while they're in college, so they have to do things, that are just an extra set of responsibilities. So stress management, time management, being able to make good decisions about their life is really important for some people as well. And then fostering meaningful relationships, being around more people as a college student can also be stressful, Some people as well have a lot of financial needs. They may be needing help with food scarcity, so we have a food pantry on our campus to help them out. Some people may be financially needing more grants or scholarships or loans. So we have, the SSS, of course, like they have a financial aid program and a quiz that you have to take so that people know what resources they have. So it's just a few things that, may be stressful, but there's definitely a lot of help at Cameron to help assist you as a college student, okay? So now we're going to talk about intake levels because our health is important, right? Self-care, stress management, anxiety management, and your health all relates to what you're intaking. So how do you manage your intake levels? Well, do you track your water and fluid levels? We're 75 to 80% water, right? So if you're not drinking enough water, then you're not even able to think properly. And if you're not able to think properly, college and studying is going to be really difficult. So staying hydrated and managing your intake levels with water and fluid is really important. Just like your food, are you having enough protein, carbs, fats, the 16 minerals that are needed, and within those minerals, we need 7 of those to be electrolytes for us to be able to, again, process, think, make decisions, you know, manage stress, all of those things is based on what you're intaking, you know. We just had a delicious lunch, right? Think of what you are intaking for lunch and how that's going to fuel you for the rest of your day after, you know, you get out of here, out of this workshop. All right, and then what type of intake are you doing for relationships and how do they influence you? How are you socializing every week, right? Do you talk to family? Do you talk to friends? Do you talk to any partnerships with, let's say, a romantic partnership or a business partnership or a platonic partnership? Whatever it is, you know, how are you being influenced or socialized by those relationships, right? You got to try to think about things a little bit more outside of the box when it comes to what you're intaking, right? And then, of course, we have to mention online intake. You know, what are we participating in with digital technology, with online things like websites, social apps, posting online, podcasts, movies, shows, video games, you name it. There's so many things online to where if you sit for 2 hours a day doing that every single day, you're going to be influenced by it, right? We know this. Just like if you watch something before you go to sleep, you might have a dream about it because that's literally what you were just intaking and influenced by. So just think about what you're intaking on all these different levels as you know, progress through your day or your week, you know. And now we're going to talk about intake levels with your energy. So does anyone feel drained in the afternoon? 2 o'clock, they feel low energy, drained? No. All right, does anyone feel like their battery's at 50% or 25% by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Drained, tired? Yeah. So this is what I mean by our energy levels. Like, we may start off the day as a green battery, and oh, we're in the yellow zone. We need to go ahead and take that nap, do that self-care, right? Or, oh, we're in the orange, the red zone. We need to go refuel. We need to drink some more water. We need to have a healthy, balanced meal so we can recharge or get, you know, close to that green bar again, you know? So these things go hand in hand, all right? And then there is a YouTube video. I did forget to pull this up. But, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, it doesn't have Chrome. Okay, well that's fine. I could honestly just summarize it. It's gonna take a long time to download Chrome, so let's just forget that. So it would have been nice to have, because this was like a from a doctor, but it was like a little cartoon animation to what they were talking about. But they were saying that your energy levels have a lot to do with how your nervous system is wired, right? So when you are wired to be anxious and having to look around your environment and try to solve the problem, you're going to be on more high alert. And your energy levels may not even start at that 100%. They might start at 70 or 80% because you're already draining your energy because your nervous system is already overactive before you had your first class, right? Or before you even walked out the door. You're thinking like, okay, I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do. Oh my gosh, where are my keys? Where are my shoes? This, that, you know. You might misplace something because your mind is overreactive already. So you want to make sure that not only are you intaking the right things, but are you running internally at an efficient level to where your energy is not drained before you even start the day. Because that is also a contributing factor to why people feel drained like at 2 p.m. because their mind has been overactive and, you know, thinking about all the possibilities and what ifs and what if this happens and what if that doesn't happen and, you know, trying to kind of find a solution for a problem that didn't happen yet, you know. So that is a way to drain your own battery. So, you know, sometimes just taking a break, again, doing that self-care, you know, just resetting, doing some deep breathing is really helpful for you to not drain your own battery, all right? And then also in the video, he was saying that this is really important because if you get around other people and you have a drained battery, like say you're at a 50% battery and you're in a, let's say in an office setting, right? Like coworker to coworker, right? You're not going to be able to work on a project or meet a deadline if your battery is already 50%. It's going to be 20% by the time you finish that conversation with your not employee, but with your coworker, right? And that's the same thing in a classroom setting. If you are maybe doing an assignment with someone, a partner or a group project, and your battery is 50%, are you going to be able to fulfill that assignment or that project that's worth 30% of your grade? You know, so you got to think about these things, not just for yourself, but for how you're impacting other people. Because we also know here that in a group setting, a group environment, there sometimes is a majority rules, right? There's sometimes a group attitude. So what do you think would happen if everybody on the right side of the classroom, 50% to 20% battery? How might the entire class feel?
Just sluggish.
Yeah, sluggish. You were doing this?
It's not
A
good.
thumbs down, yeah.
Delayed.
Delayed.
Responses.
Exactly. We might not get through the whole lesson plan that day either because people might not want to participate. People might not want to even answer a question if the teacher, you know, is asking for participation in that class. Let's just say, for example, a communications class or an English class, right? And they rely on, you know, feedback, on your mind properly working and your energy levels being at a certain point, right? Think of if you're taking a math class and you're starting at a red battery, you know, you have to use a lot of brain power to do math. We were talking a little bit before, and they're saying they have letters in math. You know, it's a whole different language. So if your brain is not focused and your energy is low, you're not going to do well in that math class. All right? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a scholarship student. So I need to make sure, right? Right? I need to make sure that my brain is working properly, I'm focused, and my energy is in the right place because I'm not trying to pay back that scholarship for that class. I'm not paying nothing out of pocket. I don't have pockets to do that, but yeah, that's the point. Yeah. So this stuff is very important, right? Think of your influence on not just yourself, but on a college and a job and a bigger level to it, right? All right, so now we're going to do an energy time management personal battery intake exercise. All right, so we just went over a few examples of things. So we're going to have our own personal battery / time management, energy management, and we're going to say it out loud. There is an option to do it on a piece of paper, but we'll just say it out loud. What do you think your energy levels and your battery is today?
Orange.
Orange?
Yeah. End of the week. Kids comes tonight. You know, just kind of everything happens.
Okay.
And the first week was rough. You know, trying to get everything ironed out.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. First week of classes.
Yeah. Probably. Like I said, you probably start off with yellow on Friday and Saturday. You know.
Okay, but you would say you're in the orange
Oh yeah.
today.
I feel sluggish and dragging.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what would you say your battery is or your energy levels are for
Red.
today? Red?
Right now.
Red?
I
Okay.
started off too strong this morning.
Oh, okay. At least you're honest. Okay, thank you. Now, what about you? What would you say?
I'd say I don't know, I feel pretty good considering, I'm
Good
in
too.
medium green, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've had red, orange, medium green, and what would you like to share your battery?
Probably either medium green or yellow.
Medium green or yellow?
All the
somewhere
colors.
there. Okay, yeah, we got all the colors. Yay! All right, awesome. And thank you for your honesty. You know, I'm sure people are not going to all say, yeah, I'm in the green. You know, it is Friday, right? Like you just said, it has been the first week of classes, you know. So thank you for your honesty. But hopefully after doing this exercise, you could try to check in with yourself with the battery levels. You know how we all look at our phone like, oh my gosh, I'm at 12%. I need to replug it, right? Think about that for yourself. You know, oh my gosh, I'm in the orange, like he said, or I'm close to the red. I need to replug in somewhere. I need to recharge myself, right? So just think about that, like your energy or your battery, your personal battery, you know, as you go throughout the semester. Okay. All right. Does anyone have questions before we move forward? Okay, we're all on the same page. Great. So, after doing that exercise, right? Who does our energy affect? Does anyone want to answer?
Everybody around
Yes.
us.
Everybody around us. Yes, absolutely right. There's only one answer to that, so thank you for that correct answer. So this is just a visual. Here, maybe on the left side. So this black chess piece here is where our energy level is, right? Our personal energy. So you see that little white circle, but you also see that from this white circle goes into the red circle, the orange, the yellow, the green, right? So these are the layers of influence. So technically, right, our energy doesn't just influence us in this circle, it influences everything around us. And this is a great example of a college campus, you know, because you have yourself, you may have your classmates, the staff, the teachers, the faculty, the people who, you know, run the campus, and then, you know, everybody else, you know, because this is an open campus. There's sometimes people who just come to campus for events. You know, we also have police on campus. We also have a lot of directors, coordinators. So this is a big example of like, hey, we are here, but we're also being affected by their energy as well. You know, it's not just our energy is affecting everyone. Everyone's energy affects everyone here in this circle. Okay. All right, so this is other examples. If the energy one didn't bring it bring it home, but this is also an example of the degrees of influence, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So this is kind of like a little globe and how we all have a little network, a little community, and we're all connected to each other. So even if you don't think you're affecting someone, you may on a third or fourth degree be affecting someone. Even if you've never met them, the actions and your communication and your responses to someone affect their day and their energy, right? So like, say for example, me to the director at SSS, Kathleen, right? So if I have a conversation with her before she has an important meeting and it doesn't go well, for example, right? Thinking about the negative aspects, is she going to be able to focus in her meeting? No, she's not, right? Her mind is going to be elsewhere and she may not be fully present for that meeting, or she may miss something, you know, not speak about all the topics that she has for that meeting. So then that affects everyone in the meeting. So me having that one conversation, I just influenced 10 other people and I have not even talked to. So that's what I'm saying about how our energy affects not just the people we know, but the people on a second or third or fourth degree. And think of if we had a good conversation before our meeting, right? You know, if I'm like, okay, yeah, we agree on everything. We had, you know, a great conversation. It went smoothly. She may be more energized in that meeting. She may have, you know, that 100% battery and be like, yeah, I'm able to cover all the topics. I'm communicating well. I'm speaking to everybody directly so they feel seen and heard and understood, right? So think about the positive and negative aspects a little bit, you know, how that might influence other people's outcomes to their day, you know. So that's what this is about. Like, you might not directly influence someone, but you'll influence someone on a third or fourth degree level, right?
Yeah.
This little group down here, still influenced by this person in the middle. Oops. Whoops, I forgot to touch. But yeah, so that's just an example there, all right? And specifically going into the degrees of influence, move back over here. So the first level is us. So we are directly influenced by ourselves, how we think, how we take in food, you know, all the stuff I just talked about, intake levels, and our family, how our family taught us to believe, behave, you know, accept certain behavior or not accept certain behavior. All of that is influencing us on the individual level, right? And then the next level of degree of influence, because these are 7 degrees of influence, is the interpersonal level. So how do our friends, partnerships, romantic relationships, extended family, how do they influence their community, right? And then the third one, the community, right? So large special interest groups, neighborhoods, places of worship, like if you're a religious person. Large special interest group just means like a department. So like the SSS special interest group, because it's focused on helping students, supporting students, right? And then social networks like schools, workplace, like I just talked about the campus, how we influence each other around campus directly or indirectly, right? And then the workplace environment, same deal. Online, same deal. We influence people indirectly or directly. And then the fifth level of influence is organizational. So think of big places that everyone can go to, like the post office, the gym, a licensing office, a repair building, something like that, where you may not talk to that person or know them personally, but you see them coming in and out, like at the gym. That's the easiest example for people to understand the organizational level. And then moving up to cultural. So the cultural degree of influence is politics, local politics, city hall meetings, malls, medical spaces, wellness spaces, things like that. You know, it has a specific culture, a specific way that people interact in these settings, right? And again, you may, just like the organizational, you may not come up to someone and just start talking to them if you're in a mall, right? You just going past each other, going shopping. You may be in the same store looking at the same item, but you might not culturally go up and speak to them. And then the last one is society, being airports, plazas, again, universities and colleges, but that can go into school also. It's just for like international type of students. Like here we have a lot of people maybe from different countries on like a sports and athletes like scholarship. And then performance centers, arenas, stuff like that, bigger places. Again, you may not know you're influencing people directly or indirectly, but you are, and your energy definitely is. So that is what they're talking about there. And these are just a few questions if you want to look through them or screenshot it, however. But this is just an exercise to get you thinking about how does my energy affect people on these different levels and degrees of influence. So. And that was it. Sadly, there's no YouTube on this computer, but this is my favorite channel. They are holistic health psychologists, and they were saying that sometimes your brain might try to make you feel anxious or stressed out if you're doing something new. And a lot of times, like we were saying, college is something new for people. Even if, you know, you've been here more than a freshman or more than a few years, you're still having new assignments, new teachers, new classes, new people you meet every semester, right? So they were saying in the video, just because you're doing something new does not mean you're bad at it. Just because you're doing something new does not mean it's scary. When you are doing something new, you're reinforcing positive behavior. So the less harsh you are on yourself, the less shameful and, tough you are on yourself, meaning your thoughts, the more positive and the more encouraging you will feel while you're doing this new activity or this new thing. And then you're rewiring your brain to say, oh, I'm doing something new. This is a positive behavior. Or I'm doing something new. It doesn't have to be automatically scary or hard just because it's new. All right. So I wanted to give you guys that encouragement. If you are doing something new this semester, or if you're just starting off new on campus, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You're new at it. Give yourself some grace. All right.
We can always send the videos later, because you guys all signed in.
Yeah.
Send it to your email.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Refer back to it.
yeah. There you go. Does anyone have any questions? That was the last slide.
No, that was great.
All right,
That was great.
I
Okay.
feel
Thank you so much.
I'll turn that off. I didn't even give you the 5-minute thing, 'cause I was like, it's like 3 and something, like I knew you was wrapping it up, so I didn't even give you the 5
Yeah,
minutes.
the video was 2 minutes.
You didn't even see the 5 minutes because I was like, all right, so guys, I'm gonna give y'all a few minute break. Can you go find Michael?
Yeah, I would do.
All right,
Think
and
we're
then-
still alive.
what I'm gonna do,